Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. It is Christian here, and you're tuned in for more of my 2 cents. If you are new to the channel, then welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad you decided to stop by and to sit on down. And if you are returning, hey y'all, hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in for another amazing video today. Now, I don't know, I think I'm getting over it. My voice is a little bit back to normal, so y'all may not be able to tell, but your girl was struggling. I was struggling. I ain't had no voice this time last week. And so I was so glad that I had got my content done because I didn't have to worry about trying to get new content out to keep up with my schedule. But I was under the weather and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It didn't feel good because I was coughing and um, yeah, I was hoarse and it was a struggle. But we're here. So if I have some cough attacks, I got my little liquid over here, got my water over here, got my tissue over here for my eyes and waters up. And yeah, we'll get into it. So excuse me if I'm not my normal strong voice self. I'm just trying not to have a cough attack. So I'm gonna try to keep it calm so that we can get this content done, okay? And I got some good topics. So I want to make sure I make it through it and don't have to, cut, chop, and screw these videos. That's not what I do. I don't do the editing, okay? I do the delivery and then, we're going about our day. So let's do that. 3 points that matter most before we start any discussion. Number one, you're not alone. Number two, you're not crazy. Number three, God, your creator, still loves you, and I do too. So I gave y'all, some Christian religious content last week. And y'all, I want to switch up the energy. Yes, I have some church and religious topics that we could talk about. I have some trending topics in Fulala that we can discuss. But I want to take a different, lane this week. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to give y'all something different, something that is extremely relatable, but something that is more on the lifestyle side of the content that I think you guys will enjoy. And I know that I will speak to from 1000% genuine experience. So let's get into that. It is about friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Ones you can depend on. Friends. How many of us have friends? Good friends, okay? Friends that you didn't have for a long time. And I'm not just talking about from when you were in kindergarten or friends you made in the NICU when you was first born. I'm talking about long, good solid relationships that may or may have not gone through anything, because that is a point of reference for a lot of people. They say you're not really a friend until you've gone through the good and the bad together. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I feel like there should not be a toxic measure that you have to go through in order to say this is a real friendship, right? But I feel like the dynamic of relationship will always have ebbs and flows because you're talking about two different individuals who have different life experiences, different trigger points, different past histories, and that doesn't always come across as connected and easy to how do I want to say this? Easy to accept or just melt into one pot. So, as in with any relationship, marriage, dating, or just regular friends, everybody has different aspects to them, and everything is not going to be perfect. But I will say this, it is a such thing as having a perfect friendship where there's respect and there's mutual, honesty and kindness and giving. And I think it takes a level of maturity. But before we even get to that, let me get into the topic. The discussion I'm going to be doing today is going to be my 3 top rules for friendship. Now, I am getting ready to be 35. I'm so excited on behalf of 70. Um, I'm getting ready to be 35 in March, and I have had my fair share of friendships. I've had my fair share of good friendships, not so good friendships, high school relationships that kind of tried to, evolve into adult relationships and it didn't do well. And then as an adult, I've gone through several relationships where I thought they were friendships, but they weren't. They were one-sided. And, you know, there are just a lot of lessons that we're all going to learn in life. And it's nothing that will make me pinpoint and say, oh yeah, this was them and I didn't have anything to do with that. No, everybody has a contributing like factor in relationships. But I'm now at this point in my life where I have walls up. I didn't used to have walls up. I broke them down, but they back up. They have been erected. Okay? Because I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. Maybe it's me making these things happen this way. I would hate to have to take on that kind of accountability for having bad experience with other people. But y'all, it's hard out here. It's difficult making new adult friends. But that's not the topic. So I'm going to give my 3 top rules of friendships, things that I look at, and I'm going to give my reason and my logic on these 3 points as I go. So the first thing that matters most to me when I am, I don't want to say seeking friends, but when I am in relationship with the person and we're moving and progressing towards friendship, because there's a difference between being acquaintances and then becoming friendly and then becoming friends. Because you can be friendly with someone at the gas station, right? You can be acquaintances with someone you work with and see at the coffee machine in the break room. You can be acquaintances through things that you do, like a network type of organization or a situation or an environment. But when you're friends, that is relationship. Like that is layered. And integrity is my number one rule. You have to operate with integrity. Have to. I don't think that you guys don't know what the definition of integrity is. But honey, I likes to give the definitions over here. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and moral uprightness. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and moral uprightness. Okay. Now, everybody comes from different backgrounds. Everybody doesn't come from a background where they've always exercised moral standards, where they exercise being upright in what they do, where they're honest, and their integrity is really like a foundational principle and value that they exercise in every relationship and encounter that they have. I'm talking about being able to say, hey, now you shouldn't have took that, right? You know that you didn't qualify for that, right? You know that if X, Y, and Z had applied for that, they would have actually qualified for it more than you, and you should just told them about like things like that. And I think now, the number one example I'm going to give for integrity, that is a top rule, and that I had to actually talk about with a friend of mine. This is going to show you the kind of person I am when it comes to this. There will be no names because, of course, I respect all of my friendships and I respect other people in general. But I'm going to lay it out for you guys, okay? This is how important integrity is. So, I have had a friend for a very long time who I love, I respect. I've been there for her, she's been there for me. We really have grown over the years in a lot of different situations with one another. I am a married woman, okay? Um, I've been married. In April of this year will be 14 years, and I've been with my husband for 3 years prior to us getting married. So we've been together for a total of 17 years, which is pretty much all of my adult life. Okay. We got together at 17. Now we're 34 and we're married still. So I've been with this man since I was a high school senior. Now, this friend of mine, I've known her probably since the second year of my marriage. We've, done business together. We've really grown in life. We're both parents. There's just a lot of history there. I don't want to give too much detail, but I'm just going to try to leave it as vague as possible. Well, there was a time when this friend of mine was actually engaged in extramarital affairs with she was engaged in an affair with a married man. Yeah. Yes, she was. She was. And at first I didn't know. She didn't tell me. But when I found out, when I came into the knowledge of this, it was oh, we can't do this. This ain't gonna work. Sis, this ain't gonna work. Because see, the way this work is, you're supposed to catch these hands that's ready to eat for everybody if you're out here willing and dealing, Netflix and chilling with somebody else's husband. And I know about it. Like, I just got to do it for the wives out there. I got to put my hands on you for the women's, for the women's that took the vows, honey. Because I don't want somebody to do it for me, right? Allegedly. But as relationship would have it, and based off of my rule of having to have friends who have integrity, I had to approach her. I had to talk to her about it. There was no way I wasn't going to. There's no way. Because if there is relationship, that comes with trust, that comes with respect, which is my next point. But those two things in relationship are everything. Because if I respect you and you respect me, you know where I'm coming from when I tell you something that you may or may not be doing correct, morally and from an integrity standpoint. And this was one of those things that crossed that line for me. I can laugh with you, we can joke, we can kiki, we can share gossip or whatever. But when it crosses that integrity line where it's like, oh, now this ain't just media, social media news or celebrity gossip, this is something you're doing. And if I was in the situation of the wife, I wouldn't want the husband's significant, side piece laughing it up with her friends and making me feel like I would be the butt of the joke at this table. I always put myself in the position of the people who don't know what's going on in the situation. And so I'm like, no, I can't. Like, we can't just be out here laughing it up. And this woman is literally, she's my friend, but I know she's sleeping with someone's husband. That's inappropriate. So I had to breach the conversation. And I did, respectfully, of course, but I was very clear. I was very direct. This is not it. And I don't know what you're going to do, but I can tell you what I'm not going to be able to do. And that's continue to be friends with you and allow this to be the narrative or the way you operate in my midst. And I have knowledge of it, because to ignore it would be compliance for me. That would be me agreeing. And I know some people will say, well, she grown, she can do what she wants, and can, and probably did, or probably still do. I don't know. I'm just not aware of it. I know that I did what I needed to do to make sure my conscience was clear on the fact that integrity is huge for me. If you'll do it to this one, you can do it to this one, and it could possibly be done to me, because there's clearly no boundaries there. There is no way that this person is processing through how the significant other would feel, or how this can ruin another household or family. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the division and the hurt, the complete and utter hurt that would be caused by you and his actions for this person over here that thinks that their home is happy and stable and just fine and they're working together, but you're in the picture and it's destruction. This destruction. And I'm sitting up here kikiing about it as a married woman myself. That's the integrity part. So as friends, I cannot fellowship with you. I cannot commune with you. I cannot do life with you. And I know you have the keys to do these kind of things. I would be a bad person, not just a friend, but I'd be a bad person to say nothing if I love you, if I respect you. So if we're friends, if you're friends with anyone, you should be able to say something to them. And if they're your friend, they should be able to say something to you. And if you get offended in that communication, you all are not friends. You guys are in a convenient connection that you guys probably enjoy for certain reasons, but would never respect the other in another instance. And I don't like that. I don't want people around me that are yes men or yes women. I don't want people around me who tolerate me and put up with me just for this access or for this, appearance or for these good, feel good emotions. Child, I don't got nothing to do with what she do when we ain't together. I don't have anything to do with you when we're not around each other, but let me help you understand. For me to say nothing would be me saying everything that I know, but I'm okay with it. That I know, but it don't bother me. That I know, but I don't care. Right? That I know, child, get yours. Right? You ain't got to worry about him. You got a better benefits than the wife do, because she got to put up with him. You don't. I would have to know and be complicit. And that's just something I can't do. So integrity is a huge, 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 huge rule for me. If I cannot approach you about things that I see that I may not be comfortable with as a friend, and you take that with honesty and with respect and love, then we're not friends. This is convenience, and you just don't want to have any accountability. And I don't come with that, right? And I expect the same from you. If someone were to correct me or to share something with me like, Christian, I noticed you've been doing X, Y, and Z. And like, I just thought that was kind of crazy because you know that ain't right, right? Or like, were you aware that such and such was happening like this? I would just expect the same thing, or you didn't have to approach it that way. I look for people to do for me what I would do for them, which is just accountability, right? So that's what integrity is. And that's why it's such a huge, huge rule for me. Number two, respect. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. RESPECT. Listen. Listen. Respect. I don't know why this is such a foreign concept in life nowadays, not just in friendships, but in life. People are just out here not respecting each other. They're not respecting each other's boundaries. They're not respecting each other's space. They're not respecting each other's lifestyles. They're not respecting each other's freedom to think for itself, freedom to do without desire if it's not hurting anyone else. People are just not out here respecting other people. And by that, I'm saying people who put you down. They may always have something negative to say about what you're doing or who you are or how you carry yourself. They're complaining. They don't respect your peace. They don't respect your happiness. They don't respect your progress. They don't respect your choices. Right? They don't respect your knowledge. They don't respect you. As a friend, you have got to respect me. Let me give you some things that ain't gonna work for me as a friend, and lets me know that you don't respect me. You saying things to me about me when I have not asked you your opinion. Lack of respect. Boundaries that are set, being disrespected or disregarded. You overstepping boundaries with me concerning my marriage or my family, my children or my business. Respect. These boundaries are set in place based off of what you share, right? And how much access you give people to your life. You can be friends with people, but they can know how far they can go based off of what you share and let them know. There are things that I do not talk about with friends. I don't talk about my money. I don't talk about my man, and I don't talk about my business. Period. Now, I may talk about my health a little bit, had a little cough, had to go to the ER, honey child, I started taking some medication that threw some things off and had me out there feeling like I was going to go on and be with the, like, that's different. Little chit chat. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about those little things here. And they'd be like, girl, you may want to check your vitamins, or you may want to do this, or your routine. You may need more water in your diet. You may need more rest, Chris. You may be working on. Okay, that's different. We can take that overall general information and feedback. But what we're not going to be able to do is have me sit and divulge my life worries or my life struggles with you if I am not A, ready for you to give me your feedback on that, or B, willing to have that share with someone else that is not in our circle. So respect is people who can stay within what you share with them respectfully, right? Peacefully, and reciprocate that. I don't talk to you about my man, my money, or my family, or my business. And if you choose not to, that's fine. Some people say, well, that's not really a friendship if you can't discuss everything. No, 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 no. Every relationship should have boundaries and have a foundation. Every relationship should. Each and every one should. There is no friendship that there should be no limits on. If that's the case, you're putting yourself, in my opinion, you're putting yourself at far greater risk of things having more of an impact on you if they don't pan out the way that you expect them to, or if there is some distance in relationship with you guys, or if somebody ends up feeling a way that you may not agree with, and there's a need to no longer be friends, or a reason why you guys can't engage anymore. Now all your business is out there with this person, and you're hoping that they respect you enough to not tell anyone, not in an angry way, but just, hey, even even in an example kind of way, right? I remember I had this friend who did such and such, and they're like, oh, are you talking about such and such? Like, Girl, don't tell nobody I told you. Now you're out there like that, feeling and looking crazy. So respect is, and I've said this before, respect is not a two-way street. For some people, it might be for you. You might be giving respect and not asking certain questions out of respect. You may not be imposing your ideas or your feedback or your opinion out of respect, but people don't always have the same respect for you and yours. I know there are certain things that if I shared it with friends or certain people, they would share it. I would want to believe they wouldn't, but I have some very good stories, y'all. I got some very juicy stories from just life and business. I've had some engagement and I've had some work, some relationships and conversations from celebrities, right? To TV producing, to networks, like customers from some of y'all favorite TV shows, favorite movies. If I were to share and divulge some of that stuff, that would put me at risk based off of what I have to share versus what they have to share. So respect the boundaries, but that comes from you knowing what you should share and what you shouldn't. And that way there's no need to blur the lines. But respect is a huge rule for me in friendship. Respect my boundaries, so I don't have to put you back in your place and then block you. Because more than likely I'm not gonna go like, no, don't say that. Don't talk to me like that. Don't ask me those kind of questions. And then we're going to keep going. That's going to become a red flag where I'm probably not going to be able to return from that. Because now I'm like, dang, you should have never messed it up like that. Because now I don't know if I can trust you. So it really is a thing of respect can be mutual, but you have to count the cost of where you are in life and what you're sharing with others versus where they are in life and what they're sharing with you. And as you guys continue to do life together, you may be able to naturally share information, but there are going to come times when something you know or something that's happened to you may be way more important than something they know or have happened to them. And it will put you at a greater risk of them sharing what you have told them. And that's a disconnect and disrespect of boundaries and friendship. So respect is huge. If I cannot see you mirroring disrespect in other relationships, I am pulling back how much I allow you to have access to me. If I see you doing these things in other instances, I don't respect you. Great example, case in point, before I go to my last rule of friendship. Had a friend where she would tell me every one of her other friends' business. She was telling me all of her friends' business. Every piece in detail that I should not have known. I knew about her other friend girls' bankruptcies. I knew about her other friend girls not being able to pay their bills, get their cars fixed, her lending them money, who they were sleeping with, right? Yes. Do you get this? Them being in marriages where their husbands had them sign prenups or were trying to keep them out of getting certain property and houses and divorces. I knew this stuff, and it wasn't because I was going to search. I didn't care about these other friends of hers, but she was telling me. Do you know what that made Christian on all phone calls? Silent of the lambs? Not silence, silent. I was a silent. Okay? Silent participant. I didn't give feedback. And let me tell you something. This was one of those relationships where there was no integrity expected from this individual. So I didn't truly know how much I could call her a friend. We were just friendly. We were friendly, but she was not a friend to me. We did friendly things with each other, but we were not friends. That sounds crazy. But it's just like people saying, I love you, but I ain't in love with you. Okay? All right. We were friendly, but we were not friends. And this respect element was like, oh my God, baby girl is out here literally breaking the rules. You should not be telling me your other friend girl's business like this. And if they knew the stuff that she was telling me about their lives, I just gave y'all surface bullet points of what she was sharing, but she was giving me full stories and details. from lawyers to contracts to job promotions and how they were acquired, how people were getting certain luxury handbags. Hermes wasn't getting the card from the person that was carrying it. Hermes was getting, payment from John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith, right? This was lack of respect for their relationship. So I knew what was going to happen if I ever decided to share something. Honey, you don't have to worry about me. You don't. And I couldn't get a word in edgewise anyway in this friendly encounter. So it didn't matter. I never divulged any of my business, surface or otherwise, because this person wasn't a good listener. These are rules for friendship. So if you don't respect your other relationships, I'm checking my microphone, y'all, to make sure the volume's still on. If you don't respect your other relationships, what sense would it make for me to think you're going to respect ours? You're not going to highly esteem my business over theirs, because what you're telling me is shocking. And I know you shouldn't be sharing this with nobody. I felt bad for these friends of hers that she was telling their business like this, but I'm not friends with them, so I can't go tell on her. Right? It was just like, ooh. You don't respect your friends. So I knew there was no respect for me. I knew this, honey. I knew. So that's rule number 2 for friendships. And the last and final rule, I live by this. This is my measurement for myself when I do my assessments of self. Consistency. Call me Christian the consistent. Because if I'm not going to be nothing else, I am going to be myself. Consistently. I cannot code switch. I do not know how. I cannot change it up for you. I do not know how. I can be professional, I guess you can say. I'll give you a different version of Christian in a professional setting. So if I'm pitching, if I'm presenting, if I'm having a business call or anything like that, I carry myself a little bit different in delivery, but not in tone and not overall. And I'm going to tell you what helps me to do this, okay? I'm going to tell you what helps me to stay consistent in every situation and setting. Confidence. Confidence. I know that when I am talking to other people, there is nothing they can do to me. There's nothing they can do to me. Now, there are things they may be able to do for me, but there's nothing they can do to me. What's the difference? I'll tell you. What you can do for me, right, is maybe green light a project, maybe green light some funding or some capital, maybe green light an opportunity. You can do that for me, but what you can't do to me is block me or stop me. Confidence, right? And if I'm not doing it with you, I will move on and do it without you. That's happening regardless. So we're not going to sit on the phone and do acts. We're not going to sit on the phone and give you a different face so that you can feel like I'm a token Black girl, token Black owned business owner, token Black token nothing. I don't have that for you. And I give the same energy in my relationships and in my friendships. I'm consistent. If I'm with you, I'm being myself. I'm laughing. I'm cracking jokes. I'm taking digs. I'm throwing shots. I'm being shady. I'm doing all of that in love and in fun. I literally have a friend who has to take a Tylenol for headaches before she talks to me because I make her laugh so hard, so much from the time we get on the phone. And we talk for 3 to 5 hours at a time. Now, we don't talk often, but every time we talk for 3 to 5 hours, no less than 3 hours. That's me. I'm consistent. I don't have, even if there's something going on in my life, business or personal, I know how to navigate the emotions of that, to not allow that to bleed out onto other people. No one ever has to ask me, are you okay? Like, I noticed you was a little off. Nobody ever has to do that to me. Why? Consistency. That's not your business to deal with. I don't have the right to project or to allow what I'm going through to reflect in how I engage with you. There should be no off days for me if I'm doing the work to keep all of those things intact. Now, I'm not saying that I am perfect. What I'm saying is I've learned how to manage emotions in my relationships. And if I don't know how to do that, I should stay to myself until I can control it. If I feel like I am going to act out, turn up, go off, or whatever, I need to be in a personal space where I'm just with people who love, respect me, and understand, which would be my husband. That's why my husband and I have so much life on life engagement and contact, and we do just about everything together, right? Because I understand I can feel his energy when something's different in him, and vice versa. And it's no hard feelings. But I cannot assume that other people would be able to handle whatever my drawback or my pull away might be. That might be offensive to some people. Like, well, you answer me a certain way and it just made me thought that I did something to you. I don't like those kind of conversations in relationships. I don't. I don't like when grown people come to me and say things like, well, I just thought because you had an X, Y, and Z that we were not on good terms. How did you get that from me not talking to you? I didn't say that there was a problem. We're grown. How are you assessing and assuming these things from no plausible experience or foundational proof? If I didn't say we have a problem, we don't have a problem. If we don't talk for months or weeks or days or whatever, there's nothing wrong. I am living. Consistency will tell you that along with the relationship with respect and integrity, all of these flow together. That's not like her. I don't think that's what it is. We've been friends for a while. I ain't never seen her do that. So I don't know. I'm going to just wait for her to tell me if that's, if she got something going on, she needs something. Christian ain't like that. Consistency will allow you to always go back to the respecting of boundaries, which says, no, that ain't Christian. And then the integrity would say, yeah, she ain't doing that. All of this is relationship. When you're consistent, it allows people to respect it allows people to expect and respect who you are and what you're going to deliver. And your integrity speaks for you in every facet of life. That she ain't going for that. That ain't her. And if she want to do it, that would surprise me. But that's not the version of her that I know. That's not the version of him that I know. That's not the level of relationship that we've had over these years. That may be different for you with her, but that has not been my experience. Integrity, respect, and consistency flows in relationships. And if you do not have those points, if those points don't matter to you, and everybody has a different set of rules or expectations or things that actually matters to them in friendships, for me, those three matter most because they tie into just about every other thing, like branch offs in sub headlines, if you will, right? Like sub context. From respect, we have trust, we have loyalty, we have honesty. From integrity, the same things flow from that. From consistency, the same things flow from that. They all boil over into those things. And I know that as an adult and in different areas of my life, I now have had to be more consistent as a public figure and a business owner and a wife and a mother. Consistency is everything. Everybody should have the same experience with me so that if there is something that's off with me, it will be noticed. Right? Respect of boundaries. Being a public figure, being a business owner, a wife, and a mother, I understand that if there's no respect or my boundaries in place, then I'm just out here willy-nilly acceptable and open to anything and everyone that wants to throw shots, say things, be shady, be nasty, disrespectful, or whatever, because I haven't set boundaries in place. My business is not a joke. My marriage is not a joke. My parenting is not a joke. Boundaries and respect. I demand that not just from those who I'm friends with, but those that I come in contact with on every level. I respect you and I expect the same thing in return. And then integrity. If that is my foundation and my value as a human, as an adult, my character will always align with things that are of high integral standards, moral what was the word that they used? Moral. I can't think of it. Oh my goodness. It's gonna bother me until I get it. Because I it's important. It's important to me. Moral principles and moral uprightness. Those things matter. So if you know that about me, then you can pretty much say, okay, well, she's this kind of person when it comes to this. And I expect you to be transparent with these numbers or with this information or with these contracts or with this disclosure. That's just me. I actually probably overshare for some people because I want to make sure you're comfortable and confident when you're talking to me, and that I'm comfortable and confident if I have to recall what was said or done with you. And if we get that, nobody can have a problem in relationship, in friendship, in any situationship. Right? So hopefully this just gives some insight with like how friendships should kind of be, I don't want to say modeled after, because I don't have the perfect way of finding friends or measuring friendship. But these are some key points that matter to me. If a friend is not consistent and is wavering in emotions, and the last example I'll give of this for the consistency aspect, since I had an example for the other two, the friend from the video that I did a while ago about the friend that tried to fight me at church, she was extremely inconsistent. And all of my life experiences have led me to care about these core values as my rules for friendship. The experiences I've had through the years have caused me to care about these three things: integrity, respect, and consistency. That woman was extremely inconsistent, and I kept allowing her back in. I kept accepting apologies after she did wrong. I kept accepting apologies after she mistreated me, after she started ignoring me, when she would have an attitude, when she would be snappy, be shady, say things that were just mean, right? I ignored it. I made excuses for it. I made it okay that she could treat me like that because she's been through this, and this is what's going on with her family, and this is what's going on in her marriage, and this is what's going on with their finances. So I get why I would be the brunt of the, abuse. No. Consistency is key. If I can give you the same version of me every time you see me, hold on another shit for everybody else when you talking to me. Give me what I'm used to from you. Don't abuse me and expect me to be okay with it because you're going through everything else with other people. If I don't bring my problems to the table with you, don't bring yours to the table with me. Clean slate, clean plate. Okay? And that should be the standard for all adult relationships. If you cannot do these things, leave people alone. People are out here wanting friends, and they are danger zones. You're a danger zone because you don't know how to respect people. You don't even respect yourself and set boundaries. You're not even trying to heal so you can be a balanced individual and stake your claim of peace and joy and consistency. So you have all of these halfway ass relationships and interactions and engagement with people, and you wonder why nothing is working because you don't have any structure. Find a foundation and build on it. No. Don't find one. Create a firm, solid foundation by doing the internal work. Process through past hurts, past trauma, past drama. Disconnect and start afresh and anew. You can do that. For some, it might be relocating. For some people, it may be changing your phone number. For some people, it may be getting a new job. For some people, it may be quitting your church. For some people, it may be breaking up. Do whatever you need to do to start fresh. And take some time by yourself for a long time. I was friends with me from 2016 to I would say 2017, 2018. I took about a year hiatus from making any new friends. I didn't want them. I didn't want nobody new. I was good with my kids and my husband and my family here in North Texas. I was okay with us. And I did the healing. I shed all of the hurt from past relationships and the disappointments and the self-fulfilling prophecies of, oh, people are going to do this, or people are going to be like this towards me, or people are going to be jealous, or people are going to, want to break up my marriage, or people are going to compare our lives. I had to shed all of that from the past trauma of relationship. Instead of just trying to fill in that space with new people, I took the time to actually dig that S up and replant new seeds of love, of peace, of understanding, right? Of consistency, of joy, of mutual benefiting qualities and characteristics. Like the next person I'm friends with, it's going to be mutual. They going to love me because I'm going to love them, right? I had to rework the framework in my mind that people didn't deserve the good version of Christian. The next person that comes along is going to give me the same amount of love and respect so that I can be me freely and not have to cut them off. I don't want to have to cut people off for my goodness. I want all of your goodness. Give me the best you got because I'm going to give you the best that I got. I'm going to handle my S behind the scenes, whatever that may be. But when I come in contact with you, I'm going to give you my best, boo, because you ain't did nothing to me. Right? That's how you move and operate in friendship, in wholeness, in happiness, so that you can have a mutually beneficial engagement with all of the people you come in contact with. And if you can't operate on at least three foundational principles and rules for relationships, stay to yourself until you can do that. Please. That's all I ask. There's no need for more adults to be out here hurt and traumatized and having bonds and connections with people and cutting folks off every 6 months to a year. I don't want to have to keep cutting folks off. Now, if people show you who they are, definitely believe them and let them go. Do that quickly now. Do that quickly. But you should not have to refresh your friendship circle every 3 to 6 months. At that point, your picker is off. But we're not going to go there. That's not what today's video is about. If you've enjoyed this content, which I hope you have enjoyed this topic, and I hope that you can drop down and tell me what are your 3 rules for friendship? How do you engage and how do you pick, or what is your compass? Like, what is your compass on when you go from acquaintance to friendly to friends? How do you get there? Let me know. If you like the content, you've enjoyed the video, go ahead and like it for me. Subscribe to the channel. I would love to add you to my 2 cents crew. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.